Hey, good morning. Oh, they're still here. Underneath a shade tree, actually. We're going to go in here to JP and Cycles and some other vendors and see what's going on. Bike wash time, Dave.
Yep.
Better than doing it yourself. Bike wash was a success. Me and Dave got our bikes washed, got some of the bugs off. We're gonna go check out the bike show right now. Down here at Flagler Beach. Check out the pier at this place. That thing is like collapsed on the end of it. That was probably bad. Yeah, we're Flagler Beach. Headed back towards the room, just kind of sightseeing. Got some souvenirs for the wife. Yeah, pretty cool little place down there. is. Well, we're trying some lunch now from Beach Bucket in Ormond Beach. And all right, everybody, welcome back. Whew, that was a long day. We are back in the room. We're getting packed up because we are leaving pretty early in the morning. I think we're talking about 4. It's about a 7.5, 8 hour ride. And I have to work tomorrow evening, so we need to get back. But I think this is gonna do it for this video, guys. Today was a good day. I mean, the whole weekend's been fun. We went back to destination Daytona, did some other stuff there, finally got a bike wash, got all the oil off the bike from the oil dipstick fiasco and the bugs and stuff. We ended up doing the Ormond Beach Loop, which goes all the way to Flagler Beach, turns around and brings you back down the A1A, which is an awesome ride. If anybody is looking for a ride and comes to Daytona, do the A1A up to Flagler. You can keep on going, actually, but that's where we started at, was Flagler, and came back this way. It's about a 20-25 mile thing. We ended up stopping for lunch over in Ormond, which was amazing. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen here if I do remember it. Like I said, we're just getting packed up, kind of putting stuff on the bike that we can today while we have light, and then in the morning we'll just jump on and run. Like I said, appreciate you guys watching, coming along on our little vacation here at Daytona Beach 2025. The next bike week will be Myrtle Beach Bike Week, which it'll be with my wife and my 2 kids. So that'll be fun. I'm trying to get old Dave to go with me, take his wife. So at least I'll have somebody to ride down there with. But appreciate you guys watching once again, and we will see you in the next video.